Welcome back to the channel. So we are currently in the port of Ulsan. You guys already know that because we sailed from China, which was Ningbo to Ulsan. You guys have all seen the time lapse. If you haven't, I'm going to leave it here in the cards on top or link in description. So we're currently at anchor in Ulsan. We're waiting for the cargo operation to take place. Our jetty is not ready for us. And today is finally a Sunday. Now Sundays on ships are really special days because, well, everyone relaxes on Sundays. It's more of a chill day. On chemical tankers, especially ships like this, which are really tiny, it's really hard to get a Sunday where you're not in port or you're not in operation. And today is one of those super rare Sundays where everyone is just chilling because we are at anchor. Now considering we're at anchor and it's a Sunday, the top management tries to avoid making the crew and the officers, the junior officers, do any overtime, and we just spend time, get some personal time for ourselves. Most people spend their time on Sundays cleaning their cabins or relaxing and watching movies, kicking back, talking to each other, chilling in the mess rooms. On bigger ships, you would normally have some kind of party on every Sunday, some kind of recreation sport or some activities, but these ships are really small and people are really tired, so our management team has just decided to give everyone a personal day off. Today I'm going to go down and I'm going to take some time to clean my cabin. Sundays are days where I normally do this. I try and keep my cabin as clean as possible at sea, but when operations get super hectic, it gets super hard to maintain a clean cabin. I'm going to do that today, and then we're going to get into a cabin tour. I know a lot of you guys have wanted to see the cabin of a second officer or a junior officer on a dangerous chemical tanker or on a hard chemical tanker. So let's not waste any more time and let's just get into it. As you guys know, the ship's accommodation is divided into various decks. Since I'm the second officer, I'm normally on the captain deck, very close to the bridge, so that I have easy access to everything. As you guys can see in the plan, my cabin is right next to the captain's cabin on the starboard side of the accommodation on the captain deck. Okay, so that's the initial glimpse of what the cabin looks like. Don't worry about it, we're going to sort this out. We're going to make it look as presentable as possible and as livable as possible. We're going to start cleaning right now, guys. This is the plan for today. Okay, so that's the garbage area. I keep my safety shoes there because, well, you use them outside. I have this garbage bag that I'm filling up right now. I've emptied the trash can and I'm finally going to start crushing all of these bottles and these little Coke cans and soft drink cans and toss them into this little bag. That our mess man is the one who clears the garbage from our cabins. All we got to do is segregate it and keep it ready, and he'll come on his rounds, pick up the garbage and get it out of here. So that's definitely a benefit. But yeah, it's really painful. It's a tedious job and it takes a large amount of time, especially if you don't do it every 2 or 3 days. As you guys can see, there's still a lot more work. Next step, vacuuming. Okay, so we finally got done with the cleaning of the entire cabin, and so today we are finally going to be able to do the long-awaited cabin tour. Now, what you guys have to remember is this is different on every ship. Standard disclaimers, it depends on what kind of ship you're sailing on, it depends where the ship was built, it depends who the makers are, which country, it depends on the size of the ship, the type of ship, and also depends upon what the owners requested when they gave the order for the ship. So it comes down to a lot of factors, so it's different on every ship. The cabins are very different. So as you enter the cabin, you're going to be able to see I have the bed on one side. That's my little couch, my little center table. And of course, the little YouTube studio and my little tech space, my little reading table, you can call it whatever you want to call it. As you guys can see, I'm currently filming this on the Sony ZV-1. We have a little mirror here in the cupboard, and way over here we have our little clothes rack. So basically my jacket, my boiler suit and my uniform, which is in use. Immediate work clothes just stay there. The door is right behind me, and I'm currently standing in the center of my cabin. Yes, this cabin is for an officer who earns close to $4,000 a month. This is the quality of life. This is the quality of the cabin that you have on tiny ships. One of the first things that you're going to make sure you look for is the washroom. A lot of Japanese built ships and a lot of tiny ships in the industry have common toilets, and that is a fact. Even officers have to use common toilets a lot of times, and most of the time only the top 4 have attached toilets in their cabins, but that is not the case on this ship. Even though it's a really tiny chemical tanker, we do have an attached toilet, and that's something that we're super grateful for. It's literally a luxury on these kind of ships. So I just took a shower, so the washroom is a little wet. As you guys can see, we have a mirror up there. I have my towel here, waste basket with a bunch of clothes that have to go in for laundry there, the pot, and of course the shower room. We do have a hand shower, and you can also use it as a fixed shower. That's my shower gel. Tiny shower room. As you guys can see, I'm standing right here, and that's the only space we have to shower. I have to admit, it's super small, but the best part is that we have it, and you just gotta be grateful for that, because a lot of times I've actually sailed on ships where we did not have attached toilets, and it's a real pain and a real struggle to live on board such ships. We do have an attached hairdryer in the washroom. This is inbuilt, and of course that's my towel. The mirror does open, but I don't really use anything behind it because it's really hard to clean. So yeah, that's basically that. And this is pretty much the little washroom space that we have in each cabin on board this ship. Okay, so another thing that you guys need to know about is you guys saw me segregating all the garbage earlier. Now, taking out the trash at home is not that big a deal. A lot of us do it, and it's really easy. But on ships, we have to segregate our trash, all our garbage. Plastics go in a different bin, and domestic waste goes in a different bin. Food waste goes in a different bin, because we have to follow environmental compliance. And when we go to port and we submit all our trash, we land all our garbage to the jetties. They expect it to be properly segregated. Is the little garbage area. I've got plastics in the little box there. I've got all my domestic waste in the garbage bag there, and that is my dustbin for absolutely anything else that I have in my cabin. Okay, next, right here near the door, like I showed you, we have my work clothes in one space, and then I also keep my suitcase right there because my suitcase is just too big for it to fit inside that little cupboard. At the entrance, I keep my slippers and my working shoes. This is my center table. This is where I spend most of my time, and on the couch. Yeah, the couch is really old, so the condition of the upholstery is not the best, but this is what you find on most ships, especially older ships in the market. We have a little table fan. Now, we do have central air conditioning on board our ships, which is currently above me. That is the central air conditioning vent. So we do have central air conditioning on board all of our ships, but in certain areas such as Singapore, Malaysia, Indonesia, when you're closer to the equator, it can get really hot. And at the end of the day, the ship is made of steel, and it is going to get really hot after a point. So the accommodation, even with the central air conditioning, can get a little stuffy, especially on older vessels. So we do have table fans in our rooms, which just help us sleep because it gets so uncomfortable to be able to sleep. That is a table fan that we have been provided with, along with the central air conditioning, which is working pretty well, to be completely honest. I also have a little massager here, which is a muscle massager, a couple of chocolates, and that is my little toilet bag where I keep a bunch of essentials. So my toiletries are already in the washroom, but in case I'm running short on supplies in there, I have a little toilet bag that's handy right here. I do spend a good amount of time here playing on the Switch or editing my videos. Normally, I'll just sit down on the couch and I'll have my laptop on the table right in front, and I'll just sit here and edit my videos, or I'll watch some content. This is one of the places that I spend a good amount of time when I'm in my cabin. Now, you have to keep in mind, I don't come to my cabin a lot. I come here twice a day, once in the morning and once in the evening at the end of the day. So the recreation part and all the time that I spend in my cabin is pretty limited, but it is what it is. Before we go further, I want to show you man's best invention, according to me, which is the bed. You can ask any seafarer, the one place he's the most comfortable on board is his own bed, and this is my bed. It's a pretty large king-size bed, and I have my MagSafe charger, which is right there. I normally just throw my iPhone on that, which also acts as my alarm clock at night. Next to the bed, I have a little cupboard. Now, this cupboard is super special. The inside of it, we have a refrigerator, which is almost a rarity even on big ships nowadays. It's a luxury item to have a tiny mini fridge. I'll give you a quick sneak peek. There you go. That's my little fridge. It's properly enclosed. We have venting. Another item that stays near my bed at all times is this Tomtock case, which on the inside of which I have my little Nintendo Switch. So if I want to get any game time in before I sleep, the switch is here, the bed is right there. It's really easy. I also keep my power bank and my AirPods handy, basically the area near my bed. And last but not the least, we have my little tech area right here, which is also my main desk in my cabin. I have my iPad Pro connected to my Samsung T5 SSD right here. I have my GoPro Max, which I was filming on a little while ago, kept right here. Over here, I have my little charging station, my Nintendo Switch charger, which is connected to my multi-plug. My multi-plug is also currently powering Apple Watch charger that goes into my iPad Pro. Here I have my M1 MacBook Pro, which is my main editing machine at the moment. And so I also have my MacBook Pro charger right here. This is my main work area. Sit down right here on this desk and I can sit here and talk to you guys for as long as I like, which is fantastic, on the chair right in front of the desk. So it's my little studio space. It's a little makeshift studio space that I've had to create on board the ship, and it's not too bad. I mean, the background is my bed and the lights are on and it's decently lit because I have light from the desk lamp, I have light from the top, I have a fill light at the back, and this is all inbuilt in my cabin, so it's really cool. So I do spend a good amount of time right here, either watching content on my iPad or editing on my MacBook. I also play a lot of games right here. We have a bunch of different equipments also on this desk, above this desk, so let me show you that really quick. Okay, so we have this little table light which I was using to fill up the entire space. This right here is the bridge navigation alarm panel. For example, if there's an officer on the bridge and if he doesn't acknowledge this system every 12 minutes, what's basically going to happen is it'll raise an alarm in the next officer's cabin, and that's basically the alarm. You have the backup navigator. The remaining officers on the ship will get alarms in their cabin, which is pretty cool. We also have a ship's communication phone right here. Above that, we have our ship's clock, which is a centralized clock system. And yeah, we also have this special seafarer hotline number in case you're feeling low. Our company has this. You can basically contact people and talk to a counselor. This is something really new, and none of us have really tried it on board, but I was really kicked to see it in my cabin, to be honest. Right here above the cupboard, as you guys can see, we have 3 symbols. This is basically where we store our life jacket, our immersion suit, and our emergency escape breathing device. Now this in particular is something that you have on chemical tankers in case you have a fire. It can get hard to breathe in the accommodation because there could be a lot of smoke, so you're supposed to wear this breathing apparatus and run out of your cabin, head to the muster stations, and you also have your life jacket and immersion suit just like you have on every other ship. I'm not going to be showing you my cupboard because that's still a little bit of a mess, and it's really not important because all we have inside is a bunch of different clothes which none of y'all want to see. So this was the basic cabin tour. As you guys can see, I have my little studio space in front of me, I have my bed at the back, the washroom right next to it, and the door right here, which is basically my exit door. I have my cupboard in this direction. So this is the little cabin that I live in. Yes, this is the cabin of a second officer on a chemical tanker, fourth engineer or third mate. The cabins are pretty much the same on these size of ships. And hopefully this video gave you a little bit of insight on the living spaces and the accommodation spaces for junior officers on such ships. In case you did enjoy the video, definitely give this video a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. It's thanks to you guys that the channel is still actually growing. A lot more Life at Sea content coming up, so definitely stay tuned for more. I'm Nitin Chawla. I'm going to see you guys in the next one. Peace.
Oh my God.